What's going on, folks? This is your boy Mitch of Mitchspiration. If you're visiting my channel for the first time, I want to welcome you guys in. This channel focuses on life, manhood, and motivation. So if those three things are important to you, or those three things are something you have interest in, I guarantee you're gonna love my channel. So I would love for you to like, comment, and subscribe. Primarily subscribe, because the information I got coming is some stuff you don't want to miss. If you're returning back to my channel, I appreciate y'all for sticking with your boy. I appreciate y'all for checking out all my content on my channel so far. And if you haven't, please do, because there's some goodies already on my page. Now, today is episode 2 of my new series I'm calling Shift Talk. All right, so Shift Talk is going to be a series of conversations that will do exactly what it says: shift your life, okay? The goal of this is to come away with some key points or key indicators of how to shift your life in a more positive direction, or direction you want to be moving in. Everything about my page is positivity and uplifting, because that's what I love to do, right? So today's episode, as you've already seen from the thumbnail, is focused on one kind of concept. All right, so this concept is something that's not new, but I want to kind of approach it from a different way. And as always, I have my handy dandy laptop, because that's what I do. I study, man. I get my information ready for y'all to go into these things. So today's topic, as you know, is called "Everyone Will Not Understand Your Vision," right? So first of all, when we have a lot of things that we have on our mind, if we have a game plan that we want to execute for life, what's our first response, right? We want to call our mom, our dad, our homeboy, our homegirl to get a second opinion about whether we should do this thing, or to get their thoughts on it in general, right? Well, I have one thing to say. I think we need to cut that out, and this is why. I'm going to go through 4 key factors as to why, one, people will not understand your vision, but also ways we need to approach this to be productive and not to cause a demise to something that could be a potential blessing for us. So, as I said, I got my laptop, so let's get into it. Point number 1, vision comes from God, and is specifically made just for you. I'm going to say that again. Vision comes from God, and is specifically made just for you. That justifies the point I just made. If you have people in your life that you can, run stuff by, and they'll give you an honest opinion and things like that, that's great. You want to make sure you have trustworthy people in your circle at all times. But what you don't want to do is allow everybody else's opinion of this vision that you have to be the make or break of whether you actually execute it, right? Nothing that we do is going to start off super big or super grand, so you can't expect these like magnitude of results right off the bat. Everything takes a grind. Everything takes time, right? But I do believe that the fact that vision is a God-given thing, it does allow His presence to be a part of that process for you. So there might be things right now in your life that God is giving you a vision to do, and you're sitting on it because when you ran it by your mom didn't think it was a good idea because you didn't have the money. Or you might have ran it by your best friend. Your friend might have been like, that's cool or whatever, but you don't need to worry about that. If it came from God, then you need to go after it, because that's what vision is all about. So number 1, a vision comes from God, and it's specifically made for you. So don't let people's opinions and their thoughts about what you're trying to do stop you from achieving that thing. Number 2, follow up, great segue. Heavenly vision does not require earthly validation. I'm going to say that again. Heavenly vision does not require earthly validation. Whatever comes straight from God to you is an exclusive. Nobody can do or say anything to take away or to try to manipulate or to shift what God has specifically, directly created just for you. Anything that comes from above can never be compromised down here on earth. So just remember that anything that comes from heaven cannot be compromised in any earthly way possible. Even if it's not happening in the way you think it should happen or you feel it should happen, doesn't mean it's not going to happen the exact way that God said it was going to happen. All right. So just remember, heavenly wisdom does not require earthly validation. And I think as people, we struggle so hard with acceptance and validation, not realizing that we were made by God Himself. So us being made from God, we were made in his image. So long before this vision even came, he already knew this thing was going to happen in our lives. So we have to be confident in knowing that anything that we plan for our lives that God gives us to do, that he lays on our heart and in our mind to execute, that it's going to work. It's always going to work. It ain't nothing nobody can do to stop that thing, because it came from who? God. All right. Number 3, and I say this all the time, not as much, but I have said this before. Here's my quote that I want you to remember. It's only crazy until it's done. I'm going to say that again. It's only crazy until it's done. I have heard some of the most outlandish ideas in my 33 years on earth. And in my head and in my way of thinking, I'm like, bruh, it ain't no way that's going to work. It ain't no way that's going to happen. How? Bruh, how? But everything's always crazy until somebody is crazy enough to see it through. And when it happens, it's not crazy anymore. We look at people who do outlandish things or think out of the box, and when they accomplish that thing, we view them as geniuses and, gurus of this and gurus of that. But I guarantee you, a lot of these visions and ideas they had started out with people either telling them they're crazy or telling them their idea was crazy. So like I said, heavenly vision doesn't need earthly validation, because it's only crazy until that crazy thing actually happens, all right? So don't forget that. It's only crazy until it happens. So are you going to be brave enough to take that step? Are you going to be true to that vision and actually see it through no matter what people say, no matter what people do? If you are one of those people who's willing to do that and you crazy enough to do that, I rock with you, because I've done it myself. There's a lot of things I honestly just don't share with people. Whenever I feel like I have a vision and it's specific and it's coming from God, the only person I consult with about that vision is God. Because I don't need other people trying to tell me what to do something or how to do something when I know for a fact that God told me himself to do this thing, right? So that doesn't mean God won't send you people or resources on the way, as you're going through your process to make this thing happen. But what it does mean is that at the end of the day, God is a very strategic God. So there are going to be some things he might specifically tell you, and then there's going to be other things that happen in ways, whether it's through people, resources, or other ideas, right? So keep those things in mind too, because not everything is always from specifically God's voice. God uses all kinds of things and resources to make sure that his plan is executed the way he says it's going to be executed. So just remember, it's only going to be crazy until it's done. And the subset of that is this. People will judge your vision based on their reality of what they would do. So like I said, if you lean on people's ideas and lean on people's opinions, the first thing they're going to say, well, if I was you, I would do this. If I was you, I would do that. Well, guess what? You not me. Therefore, what you would do don't matter. It's irrelevant. Like I said, it doesn't matter. That's the problem. We get too caught up in what people are going to think and what people are going to say and how that's going to make us look, when in reality, we might be sitting on $1 million idea, $1 billion idea, but we ain't putting in the work to make it happen because we care more about the value of somebody and how they see us than the value that comes along with that idea and how it could benefit the greater good of the people around us, whether that's locally, nationally, or globally. So we got to stop sitting on these ideas because of people, man. People gonna be people, and people are people. People ain't perfect, so we can't lean on people. All right? Period. And our last thing, there's 4 P's. We pushing P today, all right? There's 4 P's that will help you in this process of learning that everybody won't understand your vision. And these are 4 P's that will help you see through to that said vision. The first P is plan. Whatever that plan is, whether God gives you a dream or he sends somebody to you with information, whatever that plan looks like, write it down. You need to have physical access to whatever that plan is at all times. Don't try to mentally store it in your brain, because I'm pretty sure you're going to miss out on some details that could be very important in the execution of this said vision. So number 1, plan. Number 2, prepare. What people do you need? What resources do you need? What skills do you need? What are those things that need to be added in collaboration to this plan to make sure that this vision comes to fruition the exact way that it needs to come? Although you write down the plan, without the preparation, that's going to really expose your body of work. How you prepare really exposes who you are and how hard you go for what you want. Preparation is key, so make sure that preparation is there as well. Number 3, produce. After you've written down the plan, after you've made the preparations, produce. It's time to show the world what you've got, right? So you want to start creating things, whether you want to start a YouTube channel, you can start producing video content. If you want to start your own brand, start creating those materials for sale. Start doing the things to get your stuff out there to the masses so that they can see the fruit of what your vision was sowing. Your vision is the seed. How you plan and prepare is what's going to cultivate that seed, and what you produce is going to be the fruit of that seed. And the last P is the one that everybody enjoys: pop out. Like, once you plan, once you prepared, and once you produced your product, pop out. Show the world what you have to offer. Don't have no shame in your game. Still be humble. Don't slide into that arrogance, but show the world what you got. It's a lot of people who are popping out with things, and because they have that boldness to pop out, they're getting to the bag, they're getting to the money, they're changing lives, they're impacting their communities. So I don't care what your vision is. One vision is not greater than the next. Everybody's life has a purpose. And because you have a purpose, there's also a vision attached to your life. So if you need to start a nonprofit for kids, if you need to start a nonprofit for women that will support them in certain areas, if you want to start your own YouTube channel, if you want to, whatever that thing is, if you want to start a food truck, whatever that thing is that's lingering in your heart, that's probably the thing that you need to be chasing. That thing that kind of scares you to jump out and do it, that's probably where that vision is. That one thing that usually scares you is probably what you need to be chasing, right? So I'm going to run these things down again because I just feel like these points are too good to let go. Number 1, vision comes from God and is specifically made for you. Number 2, heavenly vision does not require earthly validation. All right. Number 3, it sounds crazy until it's done. So get to doing what it do so the doing can get done. All right. And number 4, don't forget about those 4 P's because we pushing P right now. All right. We gonna plan, we gonna prepare, we gonna produce, and we gonna pop out. All right. One of my old favorite rappers' name was Katie Got Bands from Chicago. She made a song called Pop Out. So I want you guys to really internalize this information today. I was super excited to bring this to you. I didn't want this to be a super long video because I can really talk people's head off. I'm not trying to be super talkative, but I really just want to get to the point and get you guys inspired and pushing for greater because I'm in that space now. But guys, it's a fact. Everybody is not going to understand your vision. And I want you to forgive yourself right now if you've allowed other people's perceptions of your ideas and your dreams to stop you from actually chasing it. Make a vow today to never let somebody else's opinion keep you in the space you are in. Because number 1, they're probably jealous because they know where you're headed. If you put in that work, if you put in them 4 P's, people don't want to see you be successful. So they're going to try to say or do whatever they can to stifle you. And a lot of times it's going to come from the people you love the most because they might be attached to you in a certain way. They don't want you to leave them, whatever that is. But you were put on this earth to do great things. How can you do great things if you're constantly being stuck up under people who don't want to let you go and let you and don't encourage you to spread your wings and fly? Like, you got to stop doing that, right? So I just want you guys to forgive yourself in those moments where you've allowed the perceptions and opinions of people to stop you from literally going after that vision. Don't let the economy deter you away. Even when you're going through moments of vision, what I've learned is God channels your creativity through vision. If you don't have the money, what are other things that you can do? What else is in your arsenal of skills that can get you to where you want to go? Yes, money matters. Money can solve a lot of problems. But how creative are you in coming up with solutions that don't allow you to break the bank to get to where you want to go? Yes, it takes money to make money. You will have to make investments, but a lot of times you don't have to make those investments at the initial stages. Right now, it's just about believing in yourself and believing in that vision, whatever that product, that idea, whatever that thing is. That's the beginning stage. Truly believing this is what you're supposed to be doing and letting the work speak for itself. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go. This has been episode 2 of Shift Talk. Don't forget, everybody's not going to understand your vision. Agree with your vision, support your vision, but just know your vision comes from God. And as long as you're doing what you need to do, as Kendra Lamar says, we gonna be all right. Hey, we gonna be all right. All right, y'all. Peace.